Lauderdale and Jones will meet for the opening tap. A lot of tradition on the floor here, these two programs, and we get underway with the Buckeyes in control of the tap.
A highly anticipated matchup, and what to look for from my perspective. How does Kentucky defend Jared Sullinger? And also, how does Ohio State handle isolation plays for Terrence Jones and Brandon Knight? Sullinger starts off on Jones.
Pretty attractive matchup right there.
Yeah, a pair of outstanding freshmen. Brandon Knight, the top scoring freshman in the country, and this guy with the ball, Deron Lamb, has been magnificent as well. An excellent scorer and shot maker.
That's Jones taking it to the lane, and he's going to call for the charge.
It's David Lighty stepping in, anticipating the drive. Either one of these teams play very many people, Jim, so foul trouble could be an issue, and that's clearly an offensive foul on Terrence Jones. Leaves his feet, and Lighty right there to draw the charge.
Now here's Sullinger. And he loses control, trying to back in. Knight has it. Lamb running one-hander, pulled down by Lauderdale. Buford. And he stepped. Extra steps on Buford, who missed the game's opening shot.
Well, we saw a little bit of this in the first game with Marquette. Being a little anxious, you can expect nerves to create a little anxiety, but I imagine both of these teams will settle down shortly. If not, then it'll probably be right when we get to that first media timeout.
Josh Harrison over to Terrence Jones.
Buford starts out on Brandon Knight, and you see isolation with Terrence Jones. Good defense that time by Sullinger.
Yeah, he forced the shot short. And Lighty, 7 of 7 from 3 against George Mason. Bounce passes inside. What a block by Jones.
Came from behind, Jim. Broke contact and came from behind.
Was flirting with the chance to pick up a second early foul, but makes a clean play here, and then ball goes out of bounds. So back to the Buckeyes. There's Lighty, comes off the screen, takes it baseline, and banks it home.
Boy, Lighty has been superb in the tournament. You talked about the 7 of 7 three-point shooting. He's made 9 of 10 in the tournament, 33 points in 60 minutes of playing time for Lighty.
So sweet for him last week going home to Cleveland. And having one of the great performances of his career. Fade away, no. Sullinger snatches it. Kentucky's been blank the first 2.5.
No double team. Harrelson going to deal with Sullinger alone.
Sullinger short.
And I think that's the right strategy. You really want to choke off the three-point line for Ohio State. See if you can play Sullinger one-on-one without fouling and make him shoot oversized. And DeAndre Liggins about to check in, one of the most versatile defenders in college basketball. He'll be checking in for Kentucky momentarily.
Jones way off the mark with that. Bounce pass back to Sullinger. And that is going against Kentucky.
And it's the second on Jones, Jim.
My goodness. Here's the road to this regional round. They beat Princeton on the last shot. The only field goal of the game for Knight. Then he came back with 30 against West Virginia, the team that had eliminated them last year in the regional final. So 2 on Jones in the first 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Sullinger with a pair. And he'll live at the line on most of these games. And here he is officially in. Liggins, they don't go much deeper than Liggins on that Kentucky side.
I think they're going to have to use Eloy Vargas a little bit here tonight, Jim. Just because of his size, he has played a little better, even though his time is short on the court typically, especially with Jones with the 2 fouls. We'll see if this smaller Kentucky lineup can take care of business at both ends of the floor with Jones on the bench.
Kentucky's missed its first 4 from the floor. Over to Harrelson. He waited and was rewarded.
Beautifully done. Excellent execution by Brandon Knight. The pick and roll in the little pocket pass, Jim. That bounce pass in tight quarters we call the pocket pass, and well executed.
Sullinger and Harrelson ties him up at the other end, and Kentucky will get possession on the arrow.
Sullinger is so good at getting his body on his defender, but he doesn't have great lift. So if you hold your position, and Harrelson is about 260 himself, he's able to hold his position. You see how low Jared was when he tried to attempt that shot? Look how low he is, and it makes it an easy play for the defender to get on top of the basketball there.
Well, you're 6'9", and when you put it on the floor like that down low, you're not 6'9" anymore.
That's right. You bring the smaller guys into play, but a good job by Harrelson that time.
Kraft is into the game, and he's defending here. Open. And Darius' shot. Darius Miller's short off the rim. This is customary. Kraft at about the 4-minute mark in for Lauderdale, and Kentucky defends that one.
I think it was Lamb who got a piece of it. They're excellent in transition because they like to go one-on-one.
Clean strip of Knight. Lighty, bounce past Buford, and there it is, right back. Stripped away and out of bounds. It'll belong. No, hold on.
Well, nobody's been more impressive than the Buckeyes, Jim, when you look at what they've done in the first 2 tournament games. How about 173 points, 112 for the opponent, 28 of 50 from behind the three-point line, 49 assists on 65 made field goals.
Well, they've had a double-digit lead for 51 of the 80 tournament minutes. And going to that break, there was a foul on Liggins. It was not a clean strip, so it sends Buford to the line for 2. William Buford, junior out of Toledo, Ohio. The best Buckeye basketball player since Jimmy Jackson.
Yep, out of the Toledo area. An outstanding 3-year career. There you see what Kentucky has done. 3 fouls, 2 of those belong to Terrence Jones, who was on the bench.
Wilson steps out to set a screen. Back to him, and he waits again. Boy, has this kid developed into a player. 88 minutes of action all of last year. That's it. And he started every game this season. Meanwhile, for the Wildcats, big contributor on this squad that's 27-8.
You know, he kind of reminds me of the progression we saw with Brian Zubek last year from Duke, Jim, in terms of coming on strong late in his senior season as Diebler. The best three-point shooter in the country. He's made 110 of 220, and you can't give him any airspace.
About that, though, 50% from 3. That wasn't an easy one. Way outside the arc and a hand in the face.
But he's got a quick trigger. You've got to be up in his jersey and chase him off the line. Otherwise, he'll hurt you.
Miller. And he bangs one right back for the Wildcats from 3.
You see this matchup here is one to keep an eye on. DeAndre Liggins, an extremely versatile defender, is going to defend the assist leader for the Buckeyes, Aaron Kraft. That means Brandon Knight is on Diebler. Lamb being curled by Buford. Beautifully done. Weak side to strong side with a little banana cut. Lamb got caught chasing him. He didn't take the shortcut there, and Buford made him pay. Well executed.
Buford's a shooter, knows how to score as Kraft comes out with it. 3rd turnover by Kentucky already. Kraft, who had 15 assists in the 3rd round win against George Mason.
First team all defense was Aaron Kraft. You rarely see that from a freshman, Jim. And it was unanimous, according to the coaches.
Buford, 7 to shoot, gives it up. Boy, they executed that at the end of that possession as they were battling the shot clock late. Got the easy basket after all.
They're so good at spacing you out. They look for the 3, but they'll dribble drive you as well. And that time, Buford with a nice assist. Hard to recover, and there's Aaron Kraft doing what he does so well.
And another turnover. He forced it off the hands of Knight.
He's strong, He's extremely quick laterally, and he's got tremendous anticipation. And he doesn't back off with you. He gets right into your jersey from a defensive standpoint and makes you very uncomfortable when you're handling the ball.
Lighty, he's hit. And he'll go to the line.
Pretty crafty move that time by Lighty to get his body into Miller.
That's his first. Team now has 4.
Foul on Miller, his first. 157 games played. Now he's worn the uniform more than any Buckeye ever. 128 wins. Most of any active player in college basketball. And he was on that team that played Florida for the 2007 National Championship. Had a year he missed because of injury, so in his 5th year, the senior, as Jones is back on the floor.
Yeah, this is a risky move
with
here.
2 fouls at the 12:50 mark.
Very risky move. That's one of the issues for Kentucky. They have been foul prone as a group. And the Buckeyes very efficient offensively here the last 5 trips. They're doing a solid job defensively with Kraft at the point of attack.
He sat only 4 minutes with the 2 fouls before Calipari says we got to get him back out there. And now Liggins, baseline jumper, yes.
Nicely done. One of the ways you can try to work on Jared Sullinger is to involve him in pick and rolls as well. You want to play behind him with size defensively, and then at the offensive end, try to get him moving and away from the paint area. As long as you've got fairly mobile big guys.
Oh, that's a reach in almost taken away by Lamb, and that's going to go back to Ohio State as Miller was out of bounds on the floor.
How about the hustle here? Good activity with the hands by Lamb, and then there's Terrence Jones keeping that ball alive. Excellent hustle both ways, and a great look at it right there at ground level.
Never a change of possession, not a new 35.
Nice job here by Miller, the crowd diva, who's gotten better at putting it on the floor and getting into a shot.
Sullinger offensive and put down.
Big fella's just so strong in there, Jim. Not only does he have the wide body, he's got the excellent hands too.
Buckeyes up 7.
David Lighty fighting with Terrence Jones inside, giving up a few inches, but very smart and strong as a defender.
Four to shoot. Miller turns on Buford, and Buford with 1 second on the shot clock commits the foul. Florida State wins that game tonight against VCU.
Well, some would argue that Butler, certainly not a power conference team, but certainly a power program.
No question. No,
yeah.
I don't think you can debate that now.
No, not at all.
Well, what a job, though. You lose Gordon Hayward, and then you come back and you take this team again to the Elite 8, maybe back to the Final Four to make another run. So at the line for Kentucky, it's Miller. He was a starter on last year's team.
I really think he's always a key guy for this Kentucky team. He's an experienced guy. He's versatile. He's a shot maker. Struggled in the game against West Virginia, but then came up with a huge 3 late. That was his only 3 points of the game, but came at a critical time. See, Ohio State has put together a nice little surge here. Very efficient offensively are the Buckeyes, Jim. They space the floor and they share the ball, and they always are looking to make the extra pass. They don't have any concern about who gets the shot. They just want their team to get the best shot.
Sullinger again. Boy, he was so quick to get that rebound.
Yeah, that's really impressive. He doesn't elevate high, but he's quick off his feet. Sometimes that's even more important than how high you jump. How quick is that second bounce?
And Liggins splits defenders, and he's got now 2 baskets. 4 points off the bench.
Kentucky likes to do a lot of isolation. They space the floor, dribble drive offense with that lane available for guys to put it down. Individual defense is really important for Ohio State tonight.
Oh, and Kraft was trying to dish it to Sullinger. He thought he was going to throw it, lob it right over the rim.
That's where he wanted it.
Yep.
Thad Matta talks about guarding the yard. That means that first 3-by-3-foot area of your guy with the ball.
Miller follows it up, and he's got 7 of Kentucky's 15.
Only Sullinger in there attempting to rebound. Everybody's got to get in there and dig out boards for Ohio State.
Mighty takes it in.
Boy, that's 3 or 4 times they've been able to curl. Kentucky has to adjust and try to shoot the gap there instead of chasing and trailing that curl man, or get help from its top defender. So that curl cut isn't available.
The Lighty basket ends a 6-point run by Kentucky. Meanwhile, Kraft almost forced another turnover.
Boy, he is bothersome, isn't he?
Oh.
He just does not give up on any play.
It's not a fun night when you got him on you.
Not at all.
Knight, though, trying to beat him, and he does. Brandon Knight, his first points of the game.
A heck of a matchup between 2 outstanding freshmen. And Knight, a terrific scorer, as we've seen all season long. He's the top freshman scorer in the country.
Buford, tough shot. All Kentucky underneath. Here's Harrelson, and Kentucky with that basket takes the lead. His first lead of the night.
Harrelson getting up and down the floor. And Brandon Knight growing as a point guard. He can get his own offense, but he's becoming much better at helping other people get shots.
Oh, Harrelson's going to be whistled for this one. His first. See stories of student athletes and their achievements on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Buford to shoot 2. An Ohio State team 34-2 on the year. It's only 2 losses at Wisconsin and at Purdue.
And in both of those games, Jim, it took special performances from each of those teams. Etwan Moore went for a career-high 38, and Jordan Taylor went for a personal best 27. Actually had a personal run of 15 straight, as we see Terrence Jones coming back in. He's got the 2 fouls. And our first look at Deshaun Thomas, who comes in for William Buford.
In that game against Wisconsin, Ohio State blew a 15-point second-half lead. Its first loss of the year. So Kentucky and Ohio State in a tight win as Harrelson puts it high off the glass, and he's got 8.
I like what they're doing with Harrelson. He's been involved in a couple of pick and rolls, Jim, that forces Sullinger to move, and that time he just took it off the dribble. Boy, has he expanded his game. And a lot of it is due to better conditioning.
Thomas picks up a shot after quick shot after entering the game, and right back it's on Sullinger.
That's Josh Harrelson again, working the defensive board.
First on Sullinger. Lauderdale will take his place as they're at the 8:01 point, so next whistle will lead to a timeout, so no reason to have Sullinger maybe out there to pick up a quick second before they go to the benches.
Thad Matta on top of that situation.
Meanwhile, the man who replaced him's called for this one. So Lauderdale commits the foul. Free throws coming up after the timeout. A good one here in Newark. First half. All right, thank you, Greg. So a couple of tight ones in the first half after decisive wins in that early window tonight at both sites. Kansas and North Carolina not really threatened. And now you take a look at the game summary here. By the way, Kentucky had missed its first 4 shots of the game and now has made 9 of its last 11.
How about this? Only 1 3-point field goal attempt for Ohio State. Because Kentucky is going to play behind Jared Sullinger with Harrelson and not double him at all, guys are able to stay home on the shooters. The Buckeyes average 8 makes a game on 18 3-point field goal attempts per game, Jim. So that's the strategy I thought that John Calipari would apply. There you see Jared Sullinger. He has the 1 foul, so he'll get a break.
Lauderdale called for his first as Knight gets 1 more.
But you don't want to give up the three-point shot to an explosive offensive team like Ohio State. You can't take everything away from a good offensive team, Jim, but you have to be committed to trying to take something away. And it's obvious that Kentucky is crowding that three-point line, but they leave Diebler loose, and I don't know how.
You can't do that.
I don't know how you do that.
He is 2 for 2 from out there.
If he's in your neighborhood, you don't ever leave him to help.
No one better in college basketball from out there.
No, and he's the all-time school leader and Big Ten leader. Three-point field goal made. The foul on Thomas. Deshaun Thomas.
Sullinger's coming back in now, Clark, as well as Buford, while Harrelson, after a breather, back on the floor. Vargas just saw a little bit of action there, less than a minute. He sits.
Well, Jim, he's only played 7 minutes in the tournament, has Vargas. So no surprise that his time was very minimal. Kentucky's had some success with the pick and roll involving Sullinger using Harrelson, and here we come again. Well, they were looking at it, and Buford tried to react and gave Brandon Knight a clean look at the three.
The two Buckeyes looked like they wanted to converge on him. Meanwhile, Kraft has an open three. And all Kentucky underneath with Harrelson.
Yep, he left his feet, turned the corner on the pick and roll, and then left his feet. And because he did, he committed the foul. If he's able to come to a jump stop, there's no offensive foul. That's the second time now David Lighty, the guy of Velcro versatility. He holds things together, and he's versatile at both ends.
That's a good thing to be.
Yeah, V squared we call it.
Diebler, 2 for 3 now. Sullinger sends it back outside. Sullinger with 6 rebounds.
Well, he's going to gobble up boards, Jim. He's a terrific rebounder. Timing, excellent hands and strength. And there's Diebler showing you that he's more than just a three-point shooter.
And finds a little seam. He's now got 8.
So important to keep your dribble alive. Guys are going to have to crowd you when you shoot it as well as he does. So you get a chance to get driving lanes. Kentucky's been very comfortable being deliberate in the half court. Both teams actually haven't had many opportunities to play in transition. But then it becomes a matter of efficiency with your execution.
Wiggins picked up on the baseline. Miller and Harrelson. A couple of bodies down on the floor. But in the end, the Wildcats convert. And Harrelson now has 10 of the 25.
How about that? Josh Harrelson. This guy played just over 80 minutes last year, Jim.
Yeah, 88 minutes the whole year.
Had 28 points. Went to work on his body and his conditioning.
Well, that's going to be the second on night. Pushing off on Sullinger, and it's a one-on-one coming up.
That's a tough call. 2 guys banging, bodies going for the ball.
And back in is Jones with 2 fouls.
Yep, that's a big one there. 4:49. Second on night. And Sullinger, I mentioned it at the top of the telecast, Jim. He's taken 46 free throws in his last 5 games. And splashes that one cleanly.
He's got a beautiful rotation on that free throw shot.
He does.
Again, the winner of the Wayman Tisdale Award, named that this year for the first time. Gets them both for the outstanding freshman. He'll be honored in Houston. Basketball Writers Luncheon on Friday, April the 1st. They'll also be honoring Guy Lewis's Phi Slamma Jamma teams at that gathering. Guy Lewis, by the way, had his 89th birthday last week, and man, he took Houston 5 times to the Final Four. We wish him well. Look forward to seeing him down in Houston next week.
Yeah, we certainly do wish him well.
He's going to stay with Kentucky. I love the fact that they named the award after Wayman Tisdale.
Without question. He was a guy that I played with in the NBA with the Indiana Pacers. Unbelievable personality and talent. Had become an accomplished jazz guitarist and a great loss.
Lost so young.
Yeah.
Had a great career at Oklahoma. 4 to shoot. And forced by Liggins. You had to. Now Leidy surveying the court. Snap back out by Kraft. Look at this passing. Does it lead to a basket? No.
Excellent passing, though. You called it. And because they space out so far, they're 12 to 15 feet apart. When that ball moves, defenders have a tough time getting to it.
That's Kraft who tipped it outside, up ahead. Buford, and no, too strong on the layup.
How about Lamb not giving up on the play, Jim, and distracting Buford just enough to cause the miss. And here comes Darius Miller. Now we got a little bit of a track meet down.
Oh, man, was that thrown with a little bit of velocity. And it's off Jared Sullinger.
And Jared didn't like it, but nothing.
How could you?
Yeah, it's a tough throw, but Harrelson.
I've never seen one.
Well, he put some zip on it, Jim. He got bumped. He thought he had gotten bumped. I think that's why he threw it so hard. He had been bumped and just wanted to make sure he hit it off the Buckeye with speed.
Timeout. So Kentucky will be inbounding with 3:33 to go in the first half. Jim Nance, Clark Hill, Tracy Wolfson, and the East Regionals.
Well, Jim, one of the things that I think is important for Kentucky is to be able to get out of this half with Knight and Jones only having 2 fouls. A third would be very problematic for either one of them going into the second half. So they've got to be smart and foul-free the rest of this half.
Jones is the only one of the 2 on the floor right now. John Hood is going to be checking in for Kentucky shortly to see his first action.
I wonder if he'll come in for Jones, Jim.
That's Leidy. Something he didn't do against George Mason.
That's right, missed a 3. 7 for 7 in that game. I think Miller may have gotten a piece of that. Pretty good spacing here by Kentucky, and Lamb, an excellent one-on-one player. Here comes that pick and roll involving Harrelson.
And there's Jones.
Well, that's well done. They space the floor, get the defense to rotate after the pick and roll action, and that opens up the 3-point shot.
His first points of the night, Clark. Averages 16 a game and saddled with 2 early fouls. And foul Sullinger as he took the pass from Buford. Back to the line for a couple. That's on Liggins, number 2 on him. Coming up, AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel, Greg Anthony, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley will take you out for a live look at VCU Florida State. Game over on TBS, and they'll have the latest tournament news. And his Naismith Watch, presented by AT&T, all coming up on AT&T at the half. Actually going to bring in Hood for Liggins. John Hood is a sophomore from Madisonville, Kentucky.
It's also the second foul on Liggins, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so they've got 3 guys with 2. Liggins, Knight, and Terrence Jones. Liggins and Knight on the bench. There's Brandon. Next to Rod Strickland there, who was a terrific college and pro point guard himself. You think about John Calipari with Tyreek Evans at Memphis, Derrick Rose there, and John Wall, Brandon Knight. Think about Strickland's experience and knowledge helping those young guys develop.
Oh, and Kentucky with the lob job of its own.
How about Harrelson? How about his half?
He gives you 7 points a game. He's far exceeded that. He's 6 of 6 from the field with 12 total. Depot almost put it up. Now weaves his way through, and Harrelson blocks it.
nice job by Darius Miller. He saw that he had Sullinger in between and in betwixt, and threw it right where he needed to. One-on-one matchup here. Harrelson against Sullinger. Dig down and then retreat. Good job by Harrelson to wall up. Well done defensively by Kentucky. They're not going to double team. They'll dig if Sullinger puts it on the floor.
And Harrelson, the top offensive rebounder in the SEC, failed to get the tap and then the putback. And it leads to a Kentucky foul. Hold on, Miller.
Yeah, that's 94 feet away from the goal, Jim. After two good attempts by Harrelson, you just got to be disciplined enough to retreat when possession is gathered. See, there's no way that they can make a play on that, and Miller gets his hands in there. Kraft, probably pound for pound, Jim, the strongest guy on the Buckeyes team.
That's the fourth Wildcat with 2 fouls. Miller joining Liggins and Knight and Jones. 1-1 for Kraft. And rattles out with 1:18 to go in the half. To shoot, one way from the hoop. Lamb
doing a nice job defensively.
Harrelson way outside. Running one-hander. And that's going against Harrelson.
Well, that's all created by Kraft's defensive pressure on the ball.
And he's the 5th Kentucky player with 2.
And an easy call for the officials there. Harrelson unable to change direction once he left his feet. Kind of hard to move 265 pounds once you get it airborne.
Nice flurry by VCU over on TBS with 3 minutes to go in the half.
Yep.
Harrelson sits down with 2. That last possession, you really saw it was a desperation move by Harrelson late in the shot clock with Knight on the bench. Kind of what happens. It led to that.
Yep,
and a sink.
And pretty good defense as well. And another foul now. It's been a problem for Kentucky this season. They can be a bit foul prone as a unit.
First on Vargas, that puts Diebler. It's not the guy you want to send to the line. Diebler now, they're in the double bonus to the rest of the half. Only 28 seconds remaining. And Diebler. As Lauderdale comes in. Put Sullinger down. Again, no reason here with 28 seconds to give him 2 going into the locker room. So Sullinger with the 1 foul will sit. And 1 of 2, that's it.
Should be last shot time here for Kentucky. I'm going to try to get into it at about the 7 or 8 second mark on the shot clock. Give yourself a chance to get a good look and maybe a tip in if you miss. Lamb's got to make sure he tries to keep that dribble alive. Terrence Jones has to be careful not to get himself airborne and draw a foul.
Lighty defending. Front of the rim. Lighty looks up, launches 3/4 foot. 30-30.
Right where it started.
Yep.
2 fouls is not in trouble, but the 3rd one puts you in trouble. Jones, Harrelson, Miller, Brandon Knight, and DeAndre Liggins, all with 2 fouls. Ohio State won the free throw game 12 of 15 to 4 of 4. Kentucky has to be able to do a better job in that area of the game.
Kraft open in the lane, no one there to defend. Sullinger taps it, kicks it outside. On the wing, Buford likes this shot and nails it for a 3.
The second opportunity, and then again the outstanding spacing. And Buford is capable of going on solo surges. You got to figure after a 1 of 6 half, he'll be really shot hungry and ready to get going here. Liggins starts the second half as well after coming off the bench in the first half. Really, for all intents and purposes, he and Aaron Kraft are starters.
The 5 Wildcats with 2 fouls. This is one of them. Jones, and gets the good bounce off the back of the rim. Jones in that first half hit a 3. He was 1 for 5 though overall. It's his first shot here of the second half. Kraft blocked by Harrelson. Picked up by Kentucky's Jones. They got 3 blocks now. Harrelson does alone. And that's nice shove by Diebler, who knows it. Raises a hand in a hurry. His first. Watch live video and get real-time box score stats and social media updates during the game on your iPhone or iPad with the NCAA March Madness On Demand app. For details, go to mmod.ncaa.com.
Brandon Knight came up grimacing there, Jim, and was holding his right foot. Just keep an eye on him. He took a spill as Diebler committed the foul. There you see the grimace, so see how effectively he's able to move here.
Jones powering his way in closer. Shoots it too strong. And Lighty says, I'll take it. You give it to me. And nails a 3 of his own. And a timeout called by Kentucky. First it was Buford from outside. Then Lighty. Williams has the chance to take Tar Heels for the 4th time under his direction. There's Jim Calhoun. He's in the last 15 years, he's become somewhat of a regular, even less than that at the Final Four.
Well, back-to-back threes by the Buckeyes to start this half. The aggressive defense of Kraft.
Liggins is back on the floor, tries to take the quick step on Diebler. And it's going to be on Diebler. He's picked up 2 in a hurry here in the second half.
Well, Kentucky likes to beat you off the dribble. After some ball movement and player movement, whichever guy thinks he has an advantage will try to get to the rim. And that time it was Liggins, and he's able to draw the foul on Diebler. So again, I talked about it in the first half. You have to be able to guard your guy in the first few yards of his attempted drive, and then hope for help after that.
1 of 2 for Liggins.
Liggins matched up with Kraft. We saw this most of the first half.
Kraft, Diebler, everyone touching it, and Lighty doesn't get the payoff.
Both teams do a pretty good job, Jim, of spacing the floor. Ohio State likes to beat you more with the pass. Kentucky tries to beat you more off the dribble. Got to crowd him.
There's nice shot. Saved the possession by Harrelson, and he just threw it up in the direction of the hoop. He knew he was going to get fouled.
It's going to be 2 shots as well, Jim.
The Amazing Race is off to India Sunday, only CBS. So you talk about Harrelson's transformation from an 88-minute player all of last season to a starter every game this year. Top rebounder for the Wildcats, led the SEC in offensive rebounds. The young man was a senior out of St. Charles, Missouri, had an ill-advised tweet after a blue-white game, which he pulled down 20 rebounds. And he kind of questioned why he wasn't, given a little more of a pat on the back by Coach Cal. Coach Cal said, you know what? For that tweet, we're going to make you do an extra 30 minutes for the next 30 days of training.
Put you on the track for a while.
And it helped his conditioning, no doubt.
Yeah, and I think it helped his mental disposition too. His outlook, his perspective, and has he done an awesome job all year long. He's been consistent, and he's really raised his level of play here in the postseason, Jim.
There's Buford.
That's a shot Buford typically makes, and he wishes he had it back. Well executed play. I'll tell you what, Jim, you think about these teams here. Talented, well-coached, tight at the half. It's going to come down to execution and making plays. We're going to do it more.
And a lot of history.
Yeah, bunch of history here.
It's Knight kicking it outside.
Nice rotation.
Here's Lamb with a three. Yes. Deron Lamb, freshman from Queens, New York.
Got a bunch of family in the house.
Yeah, big local backing, no doubt. His first points of the night. Kentucky takes it away. Lamb's up ahead. And it touched Lamb's fingertips.
Yep.
Kraft really came in there late. And I think was a distraction enough where Lamb couldn't make a clean handle.
I think this was a tad long anyway, Jim, but you're right. Because Lamb was under the basket even if he catches that ball.
Nowhere to go.
Yep. Got a wet spot on the floor along the baseline. Scott Thornley making sure that it's cleaned up. There you see the game trends. Boy, 5 times knotted up. Back and forth 9 times. And the window has been 3 to 7.
Yep, that's a small window. Scott Thornley, Roger Ayers, and Brian O'Connell, the officials here in this regional semifinal. That's been a great one so far. In the last 10.5 minutes of the first half, no one led by more than 3.
Yeah, really snug.
Whitey, dipsy-do, no, Sullinger.
Good inside position and good job by Harrelson to concede the basket. And Kentucky here, we haven't gotten to the first media timeout yet, Jim, but enjoying the foul advantages, Kentucky. Ohio State with 3, Kentucky with only 1.
That basket by Sullinger gives him a double-double, which is customary for him.
Yeah, it's his 18th on the year.
And that's a little push-off. I'm going to call it on Kraft.
Brandon Knight lucky the first foul was on Kraft because Brandon Knight pushed off after that.
Timeout here in Newark. And they're looking like they might come right down to the last minute.
Yeah, very well could. Both teams doing a nice job taking care of the ball. Ohio State with 4 team fouls already. Kentucky with 1. I talked about it as we started this half. Kentucky with multiple guys with 2 fouls so far, doing a good job not picking up additional ones.
This is Miller. Lighty defending, and the shot long. Bodies on the floor. Kraft chases it down in the corner.
Boy, Miller took a shot there. He got squeezed pretty hard.
He's late getting
Buckeyes
back.
had numbers.
Yep.
Didn't take advantage. Now they do.
Deeper left open, long enough. It was 5 on 4, just long enough to find the open man.
And that's what the Buckeyes do. They are so good at making the extra pass, Jim.
Liggins, and 1.
Wow, what a shot. Little banana cut by Kentucky that time.
Get coverage of the Division I women's basketball tournament at ncaa.com/Final Four. DeAndre Liggins. Chance to tie it again. We'll tell you around Kentucky, they've loved watching the way Liggins has transformed into a player. Originally coming to Kentucky a couple of years ago, thought he was going to be the point guard.
Yeah.
And he didn't get all the kind of time and love that maybe he wanted initially, and he was recoiling at first. Now he's settled in. He's their best perimeter defender. Here he is outside right now.
And an extremely versatile one, Jim.
Yep.
He can guard the point guard and gets a piece of that ball there.
Kraft knew Buford was over there. And that's last touch by Miller with 9 to shoot.
Yeah, to go back to Liggins, though, he's settled in nicely, understands who he is and what his role is on this team, and he's probably their most indispensable player, Jim. And you consider what he's able to do. He's an upperclassman, an excellent defender, and he's improved as a shot maker.
That's Lighty. He was sliding when he shot it. And Liggins, he's got 9 points off the bench.
He'll rebound the ball for you. He does a little bit of everything.
Right on his season average.
Well, look at Kraft harass Brandon Knight. When you're facing a guy that gives you that kind of defensive pressure, you've got to be willing to sometimes just drive by him if you can, just so he knows that you'll do that. Easier said than done against Kraft, though.
Lamb, tough shot. Sullinger says no one's taking this rebound away from me. His 11th. Is Buford. He's covered up by Knight.
Well, I tell you, Kentucky's defense for the first 7 minutes of this half without fouling has been superb. Has been superb, Jim. Saran wrapped tight. Nothing easy for Ohio State other than a couple of open threes, and we got jaw-jacking.
Yeah, it's Buford and Liggins.
Jaw-jacking going on. Good job by the officials here.
And a few wrist slaps exchange.
Warnings deserve. Any additional talk would merit technicals, in my opinion. There you see Liggins, Buford. So it's been talked about. Now both players need to regroup and lock into hooping. And that's a foul on Deron Lamb. He's do-si-doing John Diebler for no reason there.
He's got 2. Back on the floor, Terrence Jones.
And you see Harrelson talking to Liggins. And keep your head, calm down.
Lighty. Knight blocked for the game for Kentucky, but this time the whistle's going against the Cats. And it's Harrelson's 3rd. Thursday on CSI, all bets are off during one wild night in Vegas. All new CSI Thursday. Only CBS, America's #1 network. 2 shots for Sullinger. He's 6 of 6 at the line for the night.
Very good there until then. But Harrelson with the 3rd foul, Jim. About 7 minutes he's able to play without picking it up now. Got to be really careful.
"13 minutes to play. Buckeyes by 1. Look at grab. Pickpocket. Up ahead, Buford. Gets it up, Lighty, and had nowhere to go. It's caught underneath, and it's going the other way. Foul on Lighty.
Undecided. David Lighty should have finished on the right side of the rim there. He had a clear lane. He should have elevated and bounced. He was undecided as to what he wanted to do, Jim. And indecisiveness typically leads to missed opportunities.
Yeah, you could see all that doubt midair, and it led to his first foul.
And the 5th on Ohio State, I think, Jim.
Number 6.
Oh, it is the 6th. One more, and Kentucky will be shooting free throws, and Kentucky has only committed 3 team fouls to this point. Aaron Kraft and Brandon Knight, boy, Kraft not allowing him to get anything easy.
Knight, step back 3. Ohio State's missed its last 5 shots. That's Buford.
They're just having some unfortunate bounces there. That's a shot he likes. He likes this one too.
That's Lamb.
Yeah, Lamb likes that transition 3, Jim.
All 6 of his points coming in this half.
He sprained his ankle in the SEC title game. And I asked him prior to the game, how was he? He said, I am good to go. He's been patient, and he's been lethal on his 2 shot attempts this half.
Another foul on Kentucky. That's Miller's 3rd, and we've got a timeout. Of course, tomorrow you got a pair of regional finals.
Yep.
Florida and Butler, Arizona and Connecticut. Ohio State inbound. Again, as we mentioned, 3rd on Miller going to the break, and that's Buford missing. Last touch by Kentucky.
Well, I tell you what, Kentucky really challenging a lot of shots. I mean, they blocked, what is it, 9, Jim? Is that what they have?
Yeah, 9 blocks.
And they've bothered 3 or 4 more. Excellent activity defensively. Buford finding the going extremely difficult. This is Jones against Sullinger to dig, and then that leaves people open. Good rotation, though, by Kentucky.
And off the fingertips of Lighty, I thought, but they say Kentucky actually touched it last. Off of Lamb. Ohio State has missed 7 consecutive shots. They are shooting 29% for the game.
And that's the most efficient and best shooting team in the tournament, Jim, Ohio State.
Uh-oh, what do we have here?
I think we may have a technical on John Calipari. I'm not sure, it may have been on the bench.
And Diebler fails to hit the first.
Let's take a look here, see if in fact that ball did. Oh yeah, it went off of Lighty.
It really did.
Yep, it went off, and that's why the complaint from the Kentucky bench.
Diebler bounces out. They're 3.5 minutes without a made shot.
This is when you begin to see how the favorite team sometimes can begin to tighten up a bit. But Thad Matta prides himself on giving his players great confidence to play freely and play aggressively. We'll see if they can execute that, because it's going to take that going down the stretch here.
It's Kraft who comes out of the pack with it. Doesn't have the numbers. The Buford shot blocked by Jones. The 10th block by the Wildcats.
And they're doing that with excellent wings. Guys that are long and in good position with their feet, Jim. And coming into this game, you thought that Kentucky would be able to do a good job on the perimeter defensively as long as they could defend Sullinger one-on-one, and that's been the case. It's led to Ohio State really struggling to knock down shots.
Jones, Sullinger defending, and somehow that dips down and out.
Beautiful move, though. He's a left-hander who went to the right hand.
Ohio State 4 of 18 from the floor, second half. Over the top, Sullinger, and one. That's the third on Jones. 5 seconds short of a 5-minute stretch without a basket until this.
Terrific finish by Sullinger. You see the weak side cleared out, Jim. No help on the backside because Ohio State's offensive players all lifted up above the foul line. And Kraft with a nice pass over the top. And then Jones gets there late and out of position.
Team fouls now all even at 6 apiece.
Yep. So it's coming down to this whole execution thing we talked about, Jim. Shot making, play making, and there's Brandon Knight.
Oh, he missed the chippy.
Gator armed it. Didn't go through with full extension.
He's not having anywhere close to the game out against West Virginia, where he had 30. Sullinger stuck and throws it away. Right in the arms of Knight.
They got numbers.
A couple of players passed up shots.
Yeah, pretty good recovery, but you're right. Space's floor is open now. This is where Liggins will try to drive it.
Yep. Pulls up instead and bangs home. They say a 2. Foot on the line.
That's where he's improved, Jim. Last year he would have really forced the drive there. Instead, with the defender playing him for the drive, he pulled up and knocked down the jumper. Terrence Jones trying to work with Sullinger, and boy, he's leaning all over him. He is in no position to defend it.
Sullinger again does the cleanup work. Sullinger with 17. Back and forth they go with slim leads. Now in Ohio State's favor, under 8.
Now Lighty matched up on Liggins this time. Diebler on Lamb. You've got a switch. Got the freshman on Liggins.
Thomas committed the foul. Liggins will be shooting 2 out of the timeout. Sullinger, 17 points, leading the Buckeyes cause.
As far as the Elite Eight goes, Jim,
yeah, we've got
determined in tight ones.
A 1 seed advanced earlier tonight. Kansas, sounding victory over Richmond. Here you see 10-1 in the blocks category. Harrelson, 14 points for Kentucky. Liggins is going to be at the line shooting a couple with 7:48 to play. There's Harrelson with 3 fouls. Thomas's foul, the act of shooting, was his second and the 7th team foul.
Well, it's amazing. You look at Ohio State shooting only 30% from the floor, and yet on top by 1. 3-point shooting in this half, and Jared Sullinger finishing up inside. The reason they still stay on the lead. Well, tied now.
He played the last 22 minutes of this game, going back to the 10-minute mark of the first half. The biggest lead on either side has been 4.
Yeah. We anticipated a tight one, Jim. There's Sullinger, no double team. Good wall up, but a good finish by Sullinger going through contact.
And Harrelson had to be careful with 3.
That was deep post position for Sullinger. Harrelson would like to see him catch it a step or 2 outside of that.
That's Jones. Able to shake off the defender. In fact, he fell. And Jones took advantage.
Well, you think Kentucky with the ability of multiple guys to go effectively off the dribble in this type of possession-by-possession game, certainly on the perimeter, might have a slight advantage, but inside, Sullinger, especially with Harrelson with the foul trouble.
Lighty, the 5th-year senior, says, let me take over here for a minute. And he can do that.
Yeah. Again, both of these teams have multiple offensive weapons. Liggins has really been the guy here the last few possessions for Kentucky.
Bounce passes in Harrelson, and a foul against Kentucky. Called on Kraft.
Excellent execution of the pick and roll. Nice job by Liggins. He's been all over the last few possessions for Kentucky. Watch him hesitate here. That one little extra hesitation on the bounce created the space. Kraft tried to get there, but he slid in and underneath Harrelson. Easy call for the officials, and the right one.
Kraft's second, Harrelson's first field goal since 5 minutes were left in the first half. He can tie this again. I beg your pardon, that puts Kentucky up by 2. And he's looking at his left wrist. 53-51 Kentucky. He hit that floor hard when Kraft, Josette slid under him. Here's Sullinger now. It's on the floor, and that's traveling.
Jared not wanting to give the ball up. He doesn't want to give it to the official either. He thought he got bumped. I think he just lost his balance here. Let's take a look. Yeah, he spun, and actually Harrelson kind of pulled the chair out from under him a little bit. Sullinger felt his body, and then Harrelson moved out. And on the spin, he lost his balance.
There's Knight. Sullinger up high for that one.
Boy, he went out of his zip code that time to get that board.
His 15th board of the game. Buford put on the line. That was a 2. Kraft takes it out of the hands of Knight.
Gonna be a foul on Liggins, I think.
1-1.
And Liggins saying, Brandon, you've got to squeeze that one when you have your hands on it.
Well, Augusta's coming up. A couple of weeks away. Masters Live, we want to remind you, streams exclusive video from Amen Corner, plus 15 and 16 coverage from those two holes, and featured group coverage as well. For more, go to cbssports.com/masters and masters.com for the tradition unlike any other. Masters on CBS coming up. And that's Kraft earning another one. Son of a high school football coach who played quarterback high school football for 3 years and gave it up his senior year to concentrate on basketball. And those are the first bench points of the game. Kraft's free throws of the game for the Buckeyes. Timeout, Ohio State.
They're in pretty good shape as far as the fouls go. You still can't afford careless ones because both teams are over the limit. A little full-court man-to-man pressure here. And Liggins going to take control. Well, he's been really good executing offense the last few possessions for Kentucky.
Here's Liggins. Outside three, yes. Knight.
That's just excellent execution. And again, Liggins, the catalyst.
Sullinger, and it's called on Sullinger.
Liggins again.
Third on Jared.
Liggins taking over this game, Jim. Oh, that's clearly an easy call. Liggins is there facing him, feet on the ground. And Sullinger runs right over him.
Liggins with 11 points, 7 in his hand.
This is where Kentucky really can be tough, Jim, because of their ability to make plays from multiple positions off the dribble. This kid can shoot it from deep.
Just made a three. Jones will try one of his own. Nope. How about Harrelson? He's got that anticipation thing down, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. And we talked about it. Rebounding, not about how high you jump. It's the timing of your jump and the ability to jump twice quick.
And that's going against the Wildcats.
5 seconds.
Forrest Whitaker stars in a new episode of Criminal Minds, Suspect Behavior, Wednesday, only CBS.
Oh, an interesting call there.
It is.
It seemed to be a ton of defensive pressure, but Kentucky was content just to kind of stand motionless, trying to get things settled. So a break for Ohio State.
And Buford. Coming down with it is Knight. Freshman who has a 4.0 GPA. Had that in high school back at Pinecrest on the Fort Lauderdale campus. Gatorade National Player of the Year, the first from ever the state of Florida to win that, and it's tipped out to Kraft.
I think the Buckeyes need to look to try to get something early, but instead they slow it up. Good job getting back by Kentucky. Buford really being aggressive here.
Chase down the corner, stays with Ohio State, and we've got a break in the action. Only 3:16 left.
Still on top, and Harrelson has been terrific all game. Had a big first half, but you see, surpassing his season average by 10. But he's averaged 15 points a game in the tournament.
Ohio State shooting only 31%. That's a season low right now. That holds up. And they've gone almost 4 minutes without a make.
Need a good one. I thought Buford took a couple of quick ones. But he's a shot maker and has the freedom to look at the basket anytime he feels he's open.
Kraft wide on the three, never touched anything. Sullinger with 2 on the shot clock converts.
I think Kentucky blocked that attempt by Kraft, but Jared Sullinger, who's been on the spot inside the second half.
There's Miller taking it down low, and it spins out. Buford had it for a moment, reaching in Miller. And with Miller's effort now, it's going to stay with the Cats. Heads up play, Darius Miller.
Let's take a look. Buford trying to get his hands on it and lost it. And a clear tie-up. Possession Kentucky. It's a big one. You get a new shot clock here.
Inbounds, they go to Miller. He's on the floor, and the tie-up again. That means, of course, it goes back to Ohio State.
And Aaron Kraft. Big-time play right there. He got his hand on the deflection. And then there's David Lighty forcing the held ball.
I think Kraft may have hurt his left hand. Yeah. Squeezing it a couple of times, but he's dribbling up. Alternating a bit.
Adrenaline to keep him okay for the rest of this game.
Lighty coming in for the lead, yes! 57-56, Ohio State.
Big time. You expect that from your fifth-year senior. Unflappable timeout, Kentucky, Jim.
Right at 2 minutes. Kentucky without a basket the last 3:20. 2 minutes to play. With 2 minutes to play coming out of a Kentucky timeout.
Well, they've been having good success until the last few minutes with DeAndre Liggins getting pick and roll action with Josh Harrelson. He's matched up. Diebler defending him. Floor wide open for Jones to try to drive it.
Switch off, Lighty. Smothering Miller. Comes back over to Liggins. 5 to shoot, drive it in. And the call on Ohio State on Sullinger.
Blocking foul. Jared Sullinger just not quite able to get there. We'll take another look at it. Liggins again, and there you see Jared Sullinger sliding over.
His 4th.
Yep, he slid right into him.
Yeah, no question he was making a real significant lateral move at that time. 2 shots for Liggins. And it was the 10th team foul on Ohio State.
Straight in, fellas, straight in, all right?
Oh, it's been tense in here, Jim. Oh, man.
Air is thick.
Yes, very much so.
Advantage. Back to Big Blue. 1:30 to play.
Shot quality now. You got to think about trying to dump that thing inside to number 0.
Lighty. Big step. Pivots out. Right back to him.
They're trying to get it into Sullinger, but he's well defended by Harrelson and way off the block.
Now down to Sullinger. Double up. Back in. Tough shot. Side of the backboard. Kentucky has it.
Excellent defense that time by the whole Kentucky team.
1 minute left and a 1-point lead. Timeout called from the bench. Timeout Kentucky. 41.8 left in what's been a thriller. Jim Nansen, Clark Kellogg on the call. This Kentucky defense tonight. What a story that's been. 11 blocks, ties a season high. And they've shut down the likes of John Diebler in the second half.
Well, we talked about it in the first half, Jim. They were committed to not doubling up on Jared Sullinger. And Harrelson has done a really nice job. Sullinger has been able to get his points, but the three-point shot has not been the weapon that it typically is for Ohio State. Now the Buckeyes have to defend without fouling. And Liggins, who's been so good all game long, goes to work again.
Puts him up 3. Kraft tried to draw the charge, hit the deck.
You don't need a 3. Thad Matta going to call a timeout now.
Timeout Ohio State. tee us up here, Clark, on the strategy?
Well, you don't have to look for a three here, Jim, but knowing Thad Matta, he has a play call. They'll look to probably put a shooter on the same side of the floor with Jared Sullinger. But Kentucky has been very content not to double up on Sullinger and stay home on the three. So I think Ohio State has to go fairly quickly, driving it to the goal or passing it into the low post. Trying to get near a collision as Diebler tries to shake free.
Yeah, he was trying to get outside, and here he goes.
Right.
And he does it! The senior Diebler, the sharpshooter, ties it with 21 seconds.
Well, Jim, there was no question about it. They were looking for the three, and that's kind of the gunslinger mentality of Thad Matta.
Kentucky with 15 seconds.
They should go for the last one at about 8 seconds, so they have 7 or 8 seconds.
It's in Knight's hand. He beat Princeton at the gun. Here he shoots. Yes! With 5 seconds. Ohio State racing up the floor. Their season on the line. Buford for the win. No! And Kentucky pulls off the monster upset. Wildcats take out the #1 overall seed of the tournament.